our trip to Kentucky, we got 2 F106 differentials. We're gonna run F106 on this truck to keep it as light as possible, and then we'll switch to the heavier diff when we build another truck. We got 4 stock axles, which we can get resplined and use in the front of the truck because we're gonna run an open diff, so it shouldn't be too hard on them and they should last a little while. We got 2 stock F106 housings, which we've decided we're gonna use to make our own housings. We'll brace them up and put our own 4-link tabs and stuff on them and flange them. Put flanges on them to be able to go to these, which we also got. We got 4 planetaries, pie pan pettibone planetaries. We'll just get them sandblasted, take them all apart, get these brakes off because we don't need those. And then we got these plates, which will go in here and make this so we can weld these tabs on. Weld those on for the tie rod and for the steering rams. We got these other tabs over here. We got these clamshells, that's what we call them. They'll be used to go onto the back of the housing, the other side. And it goes around the differential to keep stuff from, if it breaks, keep stuff from flying out. And then the drive shaft cage also hooks up to that to keep the drive shaft from flying out. We got these rings which weld on to the back of the hub, and that's where the wheel tethers grab onto it. We got these kingpin plates for one side of that and these spindle nuts. We got 4 of them for all 4 of the planetaries, and then we got a steering orbital. So yeah, that's what we went down there to get. We're gonna slowly start putting this stuff together and get this truck done. Just a quick little update, haven't been doing much. We got our planetaries, starting taking them apart. We're almost done with that. And then we'll be putting the truss kit on those axles. Right now I'm actually working on putting some other shock tabs so that way the shock support on both sides rather than just the middle. So I got these ones made up for the front, so I can trace these out and program and have them made with metal. And this one I made, the bars are a little closer right here. So I made so we can do the rear, and the back side of the rear is the same as the fronts. So here we have the kingpins on the Champagne. Some of the factory welds are weak. That's a weak point that pettibones have. So I'm gonna grind some of this weld off and then re-weld it with like 3 passes on top. And it's also welded on the bottom in here. So I'm gonna fill this in to make it really strong. Some people don't weld them, some people do. So I'm gonna weld them just to make sure they're strong enough. But first I'm gonna clean them up. While I have the Champagne all by itself, I'm also gonna grind these flat after I fill them in with the weld, because when they cut them off of the machinery, they caught the Champagne with the torch. Came home today to a couple packages. We got the fuel tank and the throttle pedal. Here's the throttle pedal. It came on this pedestal, but we don't need this part of it. So on monster trucks, we have a tow hook so you can keep your foot in the throttle so it doesn't slip out. We got the one with the rubber on it. It doesn't really matter. There's no reason for it. Just it's the one that we got. So here we are inside the cab. This is where the seat mounts. You can see the steering wheel's in here. Got the switch panel, the rear steer. That's where the shifter goes. You can see the old holes of where the throttle pedal has been mounted. So go right there, just screw in. But for now, I'm gonna keep it inside so it doesn't get rain on and stuff. We're gonna build a shade around this so it keeps rain and water off of it. Yeah. Here's the fuel tank. It's a 22-gallon fuel cell. I just took measurements on these indents to make the brackets. We're gonna have to use a brake and bend them around and use a bolt to thread into this to hold her down.